getting used to these kind of things. A lot of guys played well, but we couldn't hold the lead there. So I don't need to take any questions. You guys watched it.
Steve Spurrier's presser consisting of a less-than-minute-long statement about South Carolina's overtime loss to Tennessee. The head ball coach obviously exasperated about a team projected to contend for the SEC title. Hey everybody, Bonnie Bernstein at our Campus Insiders studios. Checking in now with Gamecocks insider Andy Demetra. Andy, Gamecocks had that huge Week 3 win over Georgia, but they've lost 4 of the last 5. Where have the sore spots been?
Well, they haven't been on offense, Bonnie. This South Carolina team is on pace to break the school record for total offense. They're challenging the school record for scoring offense. It's all been on the defensive side, and there's a lot to diagnose here. The Gamecocks have been a very poor tackling team. That's evident to anybody who has watched them play, and no surprise, teams are having field days against them on the ground. The Gamecocks rank 125th in the nation in yards per carry allowed. They also haven't had an acceptable pass rush. Everybody's expected to drop off when Jadeveon Clowney left. Nobody expected such a steep decline, though. The Gamecocks have the fewest sacks of any Power 5 conference team in America. 8 sacks in 9 games. A textbook example was that last game versus Tennessee. The Volunteers had been allowing the second most sacks in the nation. Gamecocks didn't get a single one, and they lost in overtime. And Steve Spurrier himself has said his defense doesn't have, in his words, that fireball, that dominant personality that spreads that energy and effort level to his teammates. Add it all up, and it has been a very dispiriting year here in Gamecock country.
When you look at the lack of balance between offense and defense, have you noticed any dissension in the locker room?
I have not. You have to give some credit to South Carolina. They all know that they lose games as team. The offense loses it. The defense loses it. Special teams loses it. This is generally a close-knit team. And Steve Spurrier said that often in the offseason. He says guys get along. They like each other. And I haven't noticed anything splintering inside the locker room with these losses piling up.
All right, so the Gamecocks are still 2 wins shy of being bowl eligible. When you look at the rest of their schedule, Andy, what do you think the likelihood is that this team sees the postseason?
Well, it's going to be tough because you have South Alabama for your last home game, but sandwiched around those are road games at Florida and at Clemson. Now, yes, the Gamecocks have won 5 consecutive against Clemson, but the Tigers are going to be coming in with a vaunted offense. And then Florida has been reinvigorated with that win over Georgia. We saw how the Gators dismantled the Bulldogs defensively, and with South Carolina's struggles on the ground, the way that really Florida rammed the ball down Georgia's throats on the ground, I would imagine Florida would basically be a service academy team against South Carolina. Can the Gamecocks stop them, stop that ground game, and do so on the road? We're going to get a very clear sense of the likelihood of South Carolina becoming bowl eligible based on what happens in the Swamp a week from Saturday.
Well, if there is a silver lining, at least South Carolina has 2 weeks to prepare for Florida because they're on the bye this week. South Carolina has not been shut out from a bowl game since 2007. Andy Demetra, thank you. And be sure to check out Andy's other segment on Campus Insiders about the head scratcher that is the SEC East.